Hi class. It's great to see some of the work you're beginning to do for Hebrew. I'm hopeful to see more good work as we learn together, and looking forward to enjoying even more reading the Hebrew Bible. Speaking of which, today I'll be getting some of your translations of the Shema, but I will sing it and recite it for you again. And this coming week, that is your memory quiz, the exact same Shema, because we want to get it in our long-term memory. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha v'kol levavaka u'b'kol nafshecha u'b'kol me'odecha. Now, each week I'm going to do this introductory video. I'm going to write a little introductory page for the lesson for the week, and also talking about the assignments for the week. So please do go and click on that. And in fact, go to the forum. I start a little thread as part of that first week, second week folder, in order for you to respond to that thread and say that you read it, say you understand it, say that you don't understand it, and we'll take it from there. This week we're going to do another vocabulary quiz from the same vocabulary, so no new memory work. You've got to memorize the Shema again and make sure you know it. You've got to memorize those first 21 chapters verse of vocabulary again. It's a slightly different format. Remember that on your honor you're doing it totally from memory, not open book. Same with the other grammar quizzes. In grammar, we have one quiz that's just some sentences I put together. It's mainly testing that you got the stuff you did the exercises on this past week. So sometime this week, by Friday at the latest, go there and write that out. And also, I emailed everyone 3 grammar charts: the call perfect, the call imperfect, and then something called the strong verb diagnostic chart that shows you the call, the PL, the hifil, the nifal, all of the stems, just kind of what they are for their 3MS forms, or for their masculine singular participle, so you can kind of see everything at one glance. I find these to be extremely useful charts to have memorized. It's material we covered last semester. It should be old material for you, but have these memorized and be able to sit and write them down, either type them or write them by hand, and somehow take a picture, upload it to me, scan it in, get those to me. Now, notice both grammar quizzes are not quizzes you can take on the open class site. You've got to just open a document or in some other way get it written down, get it uploaded to me. The new grammar this week, we do have new grammar, and it is from Kelly. Chapters 22 and chapters 23. Really, this whole semester we're dealing with something called weak verbs. A weak verb is a verb that has an irregularity, and the irregularity is based on the fact that one of those root consonants is not a normal consonant. It's a consonant that changes things, that has problems. So the first type of weak verb that we're learning, and it's really covered by chapters 22 and chapter 23, is verbs where their root consonants, remember there's 3 root consonants for every verb, and the root consonant is a guttural. What are our gutturals? They are aleph, and hey, and chet, and ayin, and resh. Okay? These are the 5 gutturals. And Kelly calls these pay gutturals. That just means that the first consonant of a verb is one of those gutturals. These are words like amad or amar that start with an ayin or an aleph. And they mess up the pattern because of some things we already know about gutturals. One thing we already know about gutturals is that they don't take that strong doubling dagesh. So where do you normally get a strong doubling dagesh in the first root consonant of a verb? Well, kind of play through your charts in your head, look at the diagnostic chart, and you'll come up with the answer. It's in the nifal. When it's in the imperfect, or also the infinitive and participle, the times when the nifal would have the noon drop. I'm sorry, not the participle, the infinitive and the imperative, and especially the imperfect, where the noon drops and the first root consonant of the verb doubles. Well, guess what? If the first root consonant of the verb is a guttural, it can't double. It can't take the dagesh. So not only do you not see the noon, you don't see the dagesh either. And how are you going to know that this is a nifal verb? Well, I'm glad you asked. The answer is you're going to see it tsere, under the preformative. That yod or tav or noon or aleph or hey that comes before the root consonant will take a tsere. That lengthened tsere will show, this is a nifal verb. So anytime you see it tsere under the preformative and the verb starts with a guttural, you know it's nifal. Some vowels change, lengthen, shorten, and you shouldn't pay too much attention. But pay attention to that tsere under the preformative. And if it's followed by a guttural, say, this is a nifal. The guttural wanted to double, but it couldn't, so it made the that vowel turn to its tsere. And that would be in the in the nifal imperfect every time when there are gutturals. There are verbs that begin with gutturals. The second thing to know about gutturals is that they like vowels. The guttural is pronounced in the back of the throat. Aleph, ayin, resh, chait, hey. It's all in the back of the throat, and it's hard to get from the back of the throat to a vowel that's in the front of it, like I. Nobody wants I at the same time that they're doing a guttural back here. So before gutturals and after gutturals, there tends to be a patach, where in the regular form it would be maybe a hirek or another vowel. And so basically anytime you see pataks, ahs, or even a segol around a guttural, and you think, just pretend that the vowel isn't there. Just look at your verb charts and then kind of ignore those ahs and es and look and see, what would it be if it weren't for that? And you will be able to locate that verb form in your regular chart, and you'll be able to translate that verb form in your regular chart, and you'll do just fine. The other thing that gutturals do, and it's very similar, is they don't like the shavah. They don't like the vocal shavah, and so they'll change that to a compound shavah, usually an compound shavah or an compound shavah. Again, you just pretend that's a regular shavah. Look at your charts, try to figure out what it would be if it were a regular verb without the compound shavah, just with a shavah, and you'll be able to analyze the verb. Again, the point here is not that you can reproduce these charts. The point is that you can recognize, you can tell, this is called, this is imperfect, this is, 2ms, and then you translate the thing, because that's what we want to do. We want to translate Hebrew. And next week we'll get to more translating of Hebrew. But since I mentioned translating Hebrew, how about I stop talking about gutturals, and I talk about read to you our new memory work we're going to be working on. You don't have to memorize it yet, but read over it. This is from Numbers 6, 24 to 26. We've got little silver amulets inscribed with this. It's the oldest little pieces of writing that we have that include Hebrew Bible stuff. And it's the priestly blessing. So let me read it to you. Yivrekha Adonai v'yishmerecha. Ya'er Adonai panai elecha v'chunecha. Yisa Adonai panaiv elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. Look at that. Pick up your text. Look at Numbers 6, 24 through 26, and see what can you translate. What do you know already that you're able to translate? All of verse 24, you already know those words. Verse 25, the first word, it's a verb we don't know. We know the noun or, meaning light. This is a verb we don't know. It's a weak verb. We won't get to it for a while, but it means to make light or to shine. And in fact, it means to make shine. It's in the Hifil, so to make shine. So Adonai, may he make shine, and then you can probably translate panav. You may have to hunt around. Elecha, you can translate. And then the final word of verse 25, v'chunecha, means may he bless you. It comes from a verb chanan, which is related to chen, favor or grace. So may he favor you, may he be gracious to you. And verse 26, you should be able to translate all of those words. Again, search for it. If you've got questions, let me know. We are translating from the Bible. We are looking at real Hebrew verses, and we're figuring out what they mean. And I find that exciting. One more thing from Kelly. Chapter 23 does begin talking about a special kind of one guttural. It only happens with 3 verbs: ahav, akal, and amar. And for these verbs, the aleph will quiesce and go silent. It will sometimes take a holum, especially in the imperfect. So we have yomar, means 3ms, imperfect, he will say. And the vowels get all mixed up. And I just want to tell you, look over the charts in Kelly, but be ready for these 3 one aleph verbs to just ignore the vowels and try to figure out where they'd fit in the pattern without the vowels. And I think you really will be able to make it work that way. Well, that's enough for me. Read the chapters, start translating, start memorizing, get these grammar quizzes in, and I will talk to you again next week.